Hi guys, welcome back to Kinda Busy. What I've got here today is my inverter setup. What I've got is two SunSync inverters. They're the 5 kilowatt Echo models, and I've got them connected in parallel. Now, don't give me too hard a time on some of the cabling. This is a temporary setup, and I'm hoping by next year to get it all moved next door and into a permanent install position. But for the moment, it's a pretty good setup to show you what's going on. I've got these inverters connected through to two Seplos Mason batteries. They're the 15.5 kilowatt batteries, got the 304 ampere hour cells in them. So it gives me a total of 31 kilowatt hours of power. What I did when I was trying to set this up was I searched through a lot of the forums and on the internet for a decent amount of information on linking a SunSync inverter to a Seplos battery. And there's actually not a huge amount out there. And when you look, there's quite a lot of false information as well. So I thought I'd just give you a quick run through of maybe some of the settings and where the SunSync inverter is drawing some of the information from the battery BMS, and what settings are useful and necessary and have a function on the SunSync inverter, and the ones that confusingly actually don't. So let's have a quicker look at the menu on this now. So first of all, let's go into a menu and have a look at our battery page, see what's relevant here. Number one, we're going to have lithium ticked. Then we'll have CAN bus communication, which should already be ticked as standard. Communication protocol will be 0 for the Seplos BMS. And then we've got battery capacity, which it will read from the BMS, and charge amps. Now we can set that, and that does actually have an effect on the battery. You can limit your charge amps via this page for each battery that you have connected. Even if they're in parallel, that will set each of them to charge at that amperage. As it turns out, it tends to set the master to that level, and then the slave battery, if you have two batteries connected, will either lead or lag depending on what its voltage is until it catches up. The next page, the battery charge. Once you're connected to a lithium BMS, this page is largely irrelevant. None of this has any effect. The float voltage, absorption voltage, or equalization voltage, none of it will affect the BMS. Equally, so neither will the 10 amps on the charge. We can get it to unhighlight by unticking grid charge or highlight. Now the 40 amps set there for the generator charge, get it to highlight if I like. I don't know whether that has an effect on charging the battery. I doubt it, if none of the rest of it does, but I haven't tried it on the generator, so I can't tell you that. The other thing to look at here is the lithium battery page. If you're plugged in with a communication cable, you should be showing this page. If your communication cable isn't showing, or you have the wrong communication, then this is the page that will come up. But provided we come up with, sorry, I was just plugging that in, provided we come up with that page, then they're talking to each other. So here we've got some interesting figures. All of this is just obviously reading straight off the battery. There's nothing we can do about changing that. But these three, we actually can. First of all, let's have a look at battery charge voltage. So that's the voltage that the inverter is going to charge the batteries at. Well, that's the voltage it's going to send through to the battery. And the question is, where does that come from? If we go over to our BMS program, this is the Seplos BMS program, and this is version 2, BMS that I'm using. I believe the lines are the same, the numbers are the same for the version 3, so this should still have relevance. That 55.2 that it's reading comes from item 14. Now I have 55.17 set there, and the Sunsync inverter rounds that up to 55.2. You can choose whatever voltage you like for that, and I'll do, I think, another video as to why I have that setting as is, but that's interesting to know that that's where that figure comes from. If I change that and I say turn that up to 5.7 and hit set all, you can see instantly that the Sunsync changes 55.6 on there. It's rounded to 6 for whatever reason. 5.7 I've got. So yes, if I then go and change that back again, obviously to 1.7, set all, and it changes back down again. The next one to look at is charge current limit. Where's it getting that from? 100 amps. Well, that one comes from line 50. Scroll down to 50 and you see we've got 200 amps set there. The Sunsync inverter will halve that figure. Whatever you have in there, it will halve. So if I set that to 150 in there, you can see the inverter now is counting down, and it does it slowly. It's not an instant jump like the battery charge voltage, and that will now count down and settle at 75. You can obviously choose whatever you want that to limit at, but that's going to be a function of the amp hour cells that you're running in your battery. So if I set that back up at 200 again, and then the inverter once again starts counting up and it'll settle at 100. The discharge current limit comes from item number 52, and for some random reason it just seems to be 10 below whatever that figure is, the discharge current warning, I think it is, discharge over current warning. So I can't change it lower than 203 at the moment without charging the next line down. So if I change that down to 203 and set that, you can see that goes to 193. So I hope that demonstration is at least a little bit useful for somebody out there and helps you maybe find those figures a bit faster than perhaps I found them. I'll try and do another couple of videos on the Sunsync and SetPlus link up, and look out for those. If you like what you're seeing, please thumbs up and please subscribe to get notified for the rest.